All right, so this is a monster video by Kurt Warner on the game Tua had in the freezing bowl game, the freeze bowl, whatever you want to call it. It was so cold, and I think that had a lot to do with a lot of things. But this is one play that I had, myself had some questions with. But again, one thing about Kurt Warner is he comes from the West Coast offense style of Mike Martz, and the West Coast, whatever you want to call it, the Coryell style. And it's also a lot about timing and route design and everything. And so he's looking at this because Tua's looking here for obviously first read. And the read is from here, from right to left. But I'm not so sure because Tua's head, and I saw this in the other replays, in the film breakdowns, his head actually goes over to here next and then back to here. Or I guess it goes here, then back to here. But this might have been the primary, after all, right in there. This is what he wanted to hit all along. And this is Hill down here. So Hill's like a decoy. So you've got these two guys being eaten up. What Kurt Warner's sort of upset about here is on the route design, you have, as you see, circling it, this guy isn't much space for this because he's doing what he thinks is a return. But I'm not so sure this isn't an option. That this guy has the option, and this guy's the defender's cutting him off from continuing across, so he's going to stop the route and go back over here where there's some grass. But it does congest everything for sure, so I'm not so sure if that is the call. It shouldn't have been just a complete crosser, which is what Kurt Warner's saying, because you're congesting it for this over here as well. But it almost looks like this receiver breaks the route right here and goes back over into here, which jams everything up. And what Kurt's saying is Tua can't drive the ball in here because this guy's in the way. But my idea is more that he's getting pressure, and he tends to do this with pressure, throws off his back foot a bit, which the ball will sell anyway a little bit. And then when you're talking the cold, the hard, the ball's like a hard rock, which I showed in my other video when he didn't have the laces, this thing's going to fly off his hand, and that's what it does, and goes for an easy interception here. So I don't know. And part of the thing is Kurt's not really talking about option routes and the air raid ideal of looking for space. So he's not saying much about this. So I'm like, if that is part of the equation, see this guy here? If part of the equation is he has the option to cut this off and go back here, or just look for the grass. I mean, I don't know that, if he's trying to look for the grass and this guy's trying to cut him off here, I don't know. It's almost like an option route that he has here to go back over to here. But, anyways, these all have to be added in the equation. It's not just simply this was the route design, this is the read. It's more than that. And really we have to know, like, what is it? What is exactly the deal here? And what I can't understand is, look over here. You've got one guy, I know it's 1 against 2 blocking, and maybe this doesn't work out. But I think you flip it out here, you have a little something, but he is trying to get the first. So I don't know. Maybe it's, the idea is you really do want to go in here. Again, if this is all a set design, a route design, as what Kurt Warner played, then absolutely this route design is not so great. And I agree with Kurt. We got to, get this guy out of the way, and then the read is right in here and it works out. Yeah, I agree. Of course, that's now that we know the defense. But I think there's more going on here, and maybe it's too much complicated. I think McDaniels is on to something. He's on to something, so is Slowick, but it's a work in progress. Shanahan was already stretching the West Coast offense a bit. They're stretching it more. And it's becoming not just a West Coast offense anymore. It's like a power spread thing because you're spreading the field in different ways and finding the power in different ways. And it's not just simple route designs, So that was one thing I want to say. And then when we go further down here, you go into where I'm just going to tell you the situation. Look at this right here. Look at the bobble on the snap. So again, Kurt's talking about you need to dump this off to this guy right away because no one's getting out there to him. And you have a lot of space over here, and everybody's on these routes. I agree. But the problem is he bobbles the snap. I mean, and Kurt mentions that. But I'm wondering, why are we even looking at these plays when he's bobbling the snap? And by the time he picks it up, he's got a guy in his face. I think he would have thrown it out there, but he'd already the ball's already slipped out of his hands before. And Kurt actually looks at the one play I did too, where he didn't have the laces, and he said he should have the laces. Again, that's a strategy that in quick game there's an argument a lot of people are having. But in the cold weather, it looks like you really should be grabbing the laces. But again, these are, see, Kurt's coming from an old style, West Coast style, and things are moving and evolving now. And I don't know, Kurt has good arguments. Of course, the guy was a Hall of Fame quarterback. He knows what he's talking about. Those are the arguments. How much do we want to be mixing and matching these different styles? But I love the idea that McDaniel's doing, because when it works, see, when you look at these plays, especially in cold, look at the ball being bobbled right here. This ruins the whole play. Now, this guy also didn't get good footing. This guy's got leverage on him. Karlaftis is coming in now. And it just messes the whole thing up. And I think that in a warm weather day, he doesn't bobble it. This guy's not in so quick. And he does dump it off here. And I think this a little bit like, I'm going to take more of a look at this. This is a long one. I'm going to look at this and do it for the off season. I've got all these playoffs I'm trying to catch up on here. So, but I just have to say, like, you got to watch out when you're taking extreme conditions, extreme amount of injuries for the Dolphins, number one, and not so bad on offense because a couple guys came back, but the line's still not quite right. And then more than that, the defense, whatever. But more than anything, the cold and the way they handled the cold becomes such a factor. And that ball is as hard as a rock. And Tua struggled a bit with it. But the questions on that first play, definitely. But what I'd like to know is, what the heck are they doing exactly? What's the strategy there? What are we trying to combine here? Because I don't think it's a pure West Coast route design. But Kurt's looking at, and I think that makes a big difference. Show one more play as well. This isn't a passing play, so it has nothing to do with the pass or route design. But this is called the GOGO Offense by MARION. He's an old Gus Malzahn guy. He played under Gus Malzahn at Tulsa, so he's big into the power spread, obviously. And he came up with this little tweak where you have 2 running backs to one side, 2 receivers, so 4 to one side. It's very imbalanced, like an unbalanced line. I think he does that with unbalanced lines as well. But the point is, if you watch this play out, you'll see him busted over on the other side to the short side. Okay, so it just sets up. It's all about leveraging. You've got one of the backs is going to come over here for the block, coming around. I'm not here to analyze the GOGO offense. I'm here to say that McDaniel is messing around with a bunch of stuff, and even more so than Slowick. So when Kurt Warner's trying to break down, he's breaking down the passing game. He's breaking down the scheme based on what he knew with a West Coast style offense of Mike Martz from Coryell. You have to go further with that. Like I said, Kurt's getting so detailed. If we're going to get that detailed, we need to get McDaniel in the room and find out exactly what's going on. It's hard to know. He's playing around with a lot of elements. I'm going to look more into this in the off season. But I just wanted to show that little pet, because right there, that is a pure power spread scheme. Marion's right now at the UNLV, and God knows where he's going to be next. But that is a pure power spread college scheme going on right there. Nothing to do with anything Kurt Warner did when he was under Martz with the Rams.